This is PNW TV News. Good evening, I'm Boitumelo Monare. As we come on the air tonight, Northwest Premier Mokgosi highlights the encouraging signs of the province's reduced HIV infections, and Barclays plan to withdraw from the Israeli bond auctions. Also ahead this evening, the World Health Organization declared monkeypox a global public health emergency. And in the sports, Rob Walter names his 15-player squad. First up tonight, Northwest Premier Lazarus Mokgosi says there are encouraging signs of the Northwest being on the right trajectory in reducing HIV infections in the province. This was in his address at the quarterly meeting of the Provincial Council on AIDS held at Mabatu Palms Hotel. Premier Mokgosi maintains that since the resuscitation of the council, the provincial government has been able to coordinate and bring together various stakeholders in response to HIV infections. In strengthening the province's ongoing efforts in response to HIV, the Northwest has already concluded its end-term review of 2017 to 2022, giving impetus to the development of the 2023 to 2028 Provincial Implementation Plan on HIV and AIDS, STIs and TB. More from Mahikeng, as on Wednesday, the 14th of August, the Northwest Education MEC, Viola Mutsumi, hosted the 24th Provincial National Teacher Awards at the Mabatu Convention Center. The Department of Education hosts the Provincial National Teacher Awards annually to give recognition and commend educators for their unwavering dedication and outstanding work in the face of highly challenging situations. Expert panelists assess teaching excellence and technique through a rigorous evaluation process that is then applied to nominees. Teachers are nominated in various excellence categories representing the diversity of schools in the education sector. On the evening, the MEC addressed the nominees during the auspicious ceremony.
Tonight we come together to celebrate excellence in teaching, to honor those who have gone beyond the call of duty, to educate, uplift and shape the future of our beloved province. The role of a teacher, as many of us here know, extends far beyond the walls of a classroom. You do not just teach, you inspire, nurture and guide the leaders of tomorrow. This year has been marked by trials that have tested our resilience and educate us as human beings. We have faced the devastating loss of beloved colleagues and learners who were taken far too soon. A practical example can be given to that particular one learner, in Dr. KK, who was stabbed last weekend. One of the promising learners ever in the province. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us because of letsogo la motho o mongwe. The tragic loss of life reminds us of our journey and the immense emotional weight carried by our educators every day. I'm receiving calls left, right, and center. And I think, MEC Mukua, I also need counseling. Each and every minute, I'm receiving calls from different educators across the province, seeking intervention and seeking assistance from me as the MEC of Department of Education, because they are not coping at all. Some of them, as I'm speaking to you, bakudi clinicing, bakudi spetlele because of issues of depression. The question is, what are we doing as government in making sure that we assist our educators? Does it mean that we will forever wait for NTA just to celebrate them and that's it? And we don't care about their well-being? You, our teachers, have worn many hats. You are teachers, nurses, mothers and fathers, healers of minds and hearts. The challenges you face daily, from managing ill discipline among learners to confronting social ills that permeate our schools reminds us that education is not just about imparting knowledge. It is about guiding and protecting our children in the world that is often unforgiving.
In this next story, the World Health Organization has declared monkeypox a global public health emergency for the second time in 2 years. The declaration followed an outbreak of the viral infection in the Democratic Republic of Congo that has spread to neighboring countries. World Health Organization Director General Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus has determined that the upsurge of mpox in the DRC and a growing number of countries in Africa constitutes a public health emergency of international concern.
Today, the emergency committee met and advised me that, in its view, the situation constitutes a public health emergency of international concern. I have accepted that advice. The detection and rapid spread of a new clade of mpox in eastern DRC, its detection in neighboring countries that had not previously reported mpox, and the potential for further spread within Africa and beyond is very worrying. In addition to other outbreaks of other clades of mpox in other parts of Africa, it's clear that a coordinated international response is essential to stop these outbreaks and save lives. WHO is on the ground, working with the affected countries and others at risk through our country and regional offices, as well as with partners including the Africa CDC, NGOs, civil society, and more. For example, we're providing missions to analyze blood samples and confirm cases of mpox. We're supporting laboratories to sequence viral samples. We're on the ground supporting case investigation and contact tracing, risk communication, and community engagement. We're training health workers and supporting clinicians to provide appropriate care. We're supporting countries to access vaccines and develop the strategies to roll them out, and much more. WHO is committed in the days and weeks ahead to coordinate the global response, working closely with each of the affected countries and leveraging our on-the-ground presence to prevent transmission, treat those infected, and save lives.
In South Africa, as of the 4th of August, South Africa had confirmed 24 cases of mpox, 12 of which were reported in Gauteng, 11 in KwaZulu-Natal, and 1 in the Western Cape. The number of deaths linked to the disease remains at 3. Now, according to the Department of Health, the 22 cases recorded between the 8th of May and the 6th of July, 19 patients had recovered from those cases. Let's now take a look at the international news. Now, as the Israeli-Gaza war rages on, Barclays Bank had planned to withdraw from the Israeli government bond auctions in response to pressure from pro-Palestinian activists calling for a boycott of the bank over its relations with the country and its defense suppliers. This is according to some sources. The bank, one of 7 foreign lenders helping the Israeli government to sell debt, had planned to leave the market in recent weeks, but ended up reaffirming its commitment to the country. Barclays informed Israeli officials on Tuesday that it planned to continue to work as a so-called primary dealer, operating alongside other international banks such as Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan Chase. Barclays, which has been targeted by pro-Palestinian activists protesting outside one of its London branches, has faced criticism for providing financial services to defense firms that produce equipment used by the Israeli military. Israel launched its war on Gaza in response to an October 7th attack led by Palestinian group Hamas on its territory, which killed an estimated 1,139 people. Now, to date, At least 39,965 Palestinians have died and 92,294 have been wounded. Now with that, let's go to the business news. In business news, President Cyril Ramaphosa met with members of the cabinet, senior business leaders and technical experts from the government and businesses at the Union Buildings in Pretoria. At the meeting, the president spoke on the efforts of the Government of National Unity towards building a prosperous South Africa.
Business leaders who are here, ministers, deputy ministers, and all colleagues, officials in government, I'd like to extend hearty word of welcome to you all, and leaders in state-owned enterprises. I'm glad to see that you are here. And this is our very first meeting in the 7th administration, properly named the Government of National Unity. In case you didn't know, first meeting with our business colleagues to extend the partnership that we have. We intend to reaffirm our commitment through holding this meeting to what I would call a very dynamic partnership between government and business, which is aimed at fostering our country's economic growth as well as societal advancement. So our agenda today focuses on critical areas that are aimed at shaping our country's future with regard to areas that we've been working on: energy, transport and logistics, crime and corruption, as well as employment. We decided that we would want to focus on those issues, and we might well today say we want to add another, but depends on our inclination to do so. And our discussions today are particularly significant following the insights from the recent opening of Parliament, where we celebrated our collaborative achievements as a nation, as it were, and plotted our path forward. And this partnership mirrors the unity and collective purpose of the Government of National Unity, drawing on diverse strengths to build a prosperous and equitable South Africa.
Trade, Industry and Competition Minister Parks Tau says the partnership between businesses and government has broadly been recognized as successful, saying there has been progress under the various work streams. Now, the aim of the collaboration was to address the country's energy, transport and logistics crises, as well as crime and corruption. It was launched over a year ago to address barriers to growth in the country. And that was the business news. Stay with us as we go into the sports. In the sports this evening, the Olympics are done and dusted, and now excitement builds as we count down to the final 13 days to the 2024 Paralympic Games. The South African Sports Confederation and Olympic Committee has named the final team for the Paralympics. Another 8 names were added to Team SA squad to attend the Games in Paris from August 28th to the 8th of September. They include representatives from para-judo and para-triathlon. In total, Team SA now has para-competitors across athletics, cycling, judo, equestrian, triathlon, swimming and wheelchair tennis. In the men's athletics, Mpumelelo Mhlongo, Cohen Numendo, and Puseletso Mabote will be participating in marathons and long jump. Luzanne Kutsia, who will be participating in the T11 1,500 meter and the marathon, Simone Kruger and Cheryl James will be leading the women's contingent. From cricket news, white ball head coach Rob Walter has named the 15-player squad for the upcoming 3-match T20 international series against the West Indies. This gets underway later this month in Trinidad and Tobago. The 15-man squad will be captained by Aidan Markham and also includes Rassie van der Dussen and Donovan Ferreira. The 3-match series takes place with matches on August 23rd, 25th and 27th. Rookie fast bowler Kwena Maphaka gets maiden Proteas call-up. The 18-year-old Maphaka played a pivotal role in the Junior Proteas semi-final finish at the Under-19 World Cup, with him being named Player of the Tournament. This is thanks to his haul of 21 wickets at an average of 9.71. He also made his domestic T20 debut for the Lions and the Mumbai Indians at the Indian Premier League earlier this year. Lions spinner Ngaba Peter, who made his T20 debut against the West Indies in May, has been ruled out of the series as he is in the final phase of his recovery from a shoulder injury. Now that's it for this Thursday night's broadcast. We will be back again tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.